number of things. I've put some examples here for you, and this is a very classic business plan model. And I have to tell you, the first time Ms. Roach asked me to help a team with their business plan a few years back, I was like, this is goofy. Why would robotics want a business plan? How do you know, it's not really a business. But quite frankly, it is. And your customer is your judge. Your customer is also folks that you're trying to get a sponsorship from. Thanks, Becca. And so it's important to be able to think through what makes you unique. What is your mission? What is your purpose? What's your background? So all of you, how many of you have been competing in robotics more than a year? Some newer. So have you done anything related to robotics? Yeah. What makes you different? What makes you qualified? I know all of you, even though you're relatively young, have some great life experiences and things that are reasons why you're passionate about doing robotics. So it's your opportunity to tell your background, tell your story, tell why you want to do that. So your product description, that's really what you're doing to achieve the goals that have been set out in Clark City. That's your product or service. So when you're thinking about how to write this business plan, your marketing plan, that can be both for your judges, so it can be geared towards them. And as I said, it can also be geared towards potential sponsors. So it's important to think through how you want to use this document and how to keep it streamlined and easy to read for those purposes. Your competitor analysis, it's important to know what the other teams are doing. You know, Schrodinger's hat, I can always butcher their name. Say it.
Schrodinger's hat.
Thanks. They're an excellent team to be thinking about what have they done to set themselves apart and to look at ways that they've participated in the community, look at ways that some of the other teams are mentoring, and use a little bit of studying and learning, particularly if you're newer teams, look at that other teams, and then speak to it in your business plan. Say, we may be a new team without not a whole lot of background in this, but we've studied the other teams, and this is what we've learned and why we think we can be different and unique and set ourselves apart. Anybody know what SWOT is?
SWAT team.
That's good. That's good. It's strengths, weaknesses, opportunities, and threats. All right? You may not want to get into this level with your business plan, but it's also a good exercise, maybe while you're waiting for a battery to charge or while you're taking a break from some of your robotics elements, to think through, what are our strengths? What are our weaknesses? What do we need to be addressing? What are the threats? What are the things, if we're a newer team, do we feel kind of threat from the other competitions? And to spend a few moments thinking about those things. And then, your operations, that's really, how are you tapping folks outside of your teams? I see a couple coaches in here. So, are there coaches that are being beneficial to you? Is there some deficit? Do you need someone on your team, not maybe your broader team, a mentor that's helping you with your business plan? Do you need someone that is helping you with your robotics design? So as you're going through and thinking through all your strengths and weaknesses, that you're actually thinking about, how are we going to operate? How are we going to, if we identify that we don't have any real history in robotics and we're all kind of new to engineering and there's not been anyone that's providing that mentoring for us, how are you going to get it? We have amazing engineers across our community here, across Alaska. And so that might be something where you're like, we've identified it here and we want to address it here. Your financial plan, again, I think a lot of teams get to here and they're like, well, there's nothing to do with financials with robotics. How many of you have had to compete all the way through yet? Any of you? So we have a couple. Hey, Josh, share with us, do you have any sense of what it costs to compete?
A lot. Like
So-
a lot.
So you actually, I know, got to compete outside of Alaska. What did you have to do to fundraise?
We had to do a bunch of like fundraisers, such as whenever we had a game or something at our school, we went through and sold a bunch of stuff to raise money. We were actually sponsored by Alaska Airlines. We got one free ticket to anywhere, which we, I think we raffled it off and got a couple $100 off of that. And all that money pulled together for a lot of money actually to get our flight to Arkansas. And we competed down in Arkansas. So, yeah.
So the financials are a critical piece to think through. What are all the costs associated? And I'm going to just, can you bounce me through to the end here?
Okay.
Only because we're kind of short on time. And I want you guys to actually, next slide, please, Josh, right after this one. I'm just showing up there. So you may have materials. I mean, we were just learning that having the, what do they call the battery tester? That sometimes there's unique materials that we're not even thinking about today that we're going to need by the time we hit competition. Transportation, if you make it through here in Alaska, sometimes kids end up finding out that they're not qualifying here in Anchorage, and all of a sudden the last qualifier is in Fairbanks, and so they're trying to figure out how to afford getting to Fairbanks and doing an overnight. Sometimes not everyone has access to facilities to practice in, and so they're needing to rent some facilities. So it's important to think through what are all the various costs that might be associated with actually competing. And if your goal is to be able to compete, I know a couple of the teams have competed even all the way to Australia. If that's your goal, which is an awesome goal, you have to be thinking about it today to be able to get there. Otherwise, what happens, and I've seen it happen with teams that compete all the way through, and they have an opportunity to go to Australia, and then they're like, there's just no way we can afford to do that. And so it's important to start thinking through what's your goal, how are you going to get there, and laying that plan. And that's what the business plan is all about. And I cut out deep diving in a few sections so that we can have a little bit of question and answer before they kick us out of here. So are there questions? No questions at all? Kip, you've got to have a question on business plans. How many business plans have you written for your teams now?
One.
And what did you learn?
You learn that it costs a lot more money than you think it does, and that you getting ahead, doing anything you can to make money is a really good idea. Anything as small as like just selling calendars or doing something like that, it helps in the long run because it takes away the cost and you don't have to pay as much. And it's who wants to pay? Like you want to be able to do things without having to put out your own wallet for it when you could do fundraising and other activities.
Do you guys ever go after sponsors?
Yes, we do. We actually do presentations to sponsors. We present them with our robot. The last year we did a couple different presentations to a couple different engineering places, and because of that we let them know like what we're doing and who we are, and it broadens our like more people know us and more people are willing to donate to us because of it. So get yourself out there, make yourself known. Promotion, that was one of the big things.
How about on our Skype? Any questions? Do you know if they can?
Keep it awake.
Oh, he's high school.
I'm here.
Oh, it's high school.
No, we're
So
alone.
as long as you stay down.
Yeah. How about the rest of you? I know you're gonna have a couple more
Well,
questions.
pretty much, West I will try to just start robotic program. So we start probably not good time financially time on state level. Robotic seems like you have to compete with the rest of the teams.
Right.
You going for same one, for same sponsor, same money, so we have little disadvantage. We have to build something to show.
Yeah, and that's why I would argue, as much as the business plan, I would say, and Todd, you've coached, and I know that it's been a distraction at times. So it can be a distraction for the team. I would argue it's a really important piece, particularly if you're just starting, because you need to get really clear on your goals, really clear on having, a financial projection, and start. I would agree it's challenging times, but I would also argue coming out with a message that this is Alaska's tomorrow. You are the leaders of tomorrow. That our economy needs to diversify away from oil and gas, and that you are excited about being the innovative engineers of tomorrow. Invest in us today so that we can get there. That's an exciting message, and one that I think people are willing to invest in. So it's just figuring out how to say that.
I think your business plan can also help you stay on track schedule-wise, make you more efficient with your time and resources. If you've got a plan that you know you're following, time is the one thing that everybody has the same amount of. It seems to be one of the most critical resources. So having your goals defined in the business plan and paying on laying out the steps, that helps you stay on track.
Keeping on track is very, very important. As a team that's done it 2 years before, we can say right now that procrastination in robotics is literally the worst thing in history, because you will get behind and you'll just never be able to catch back up without long nights of staying up late and working on the business plan or building the robot or any of that. So like Mr. Bell said, plan your time wisely. It's worth it.
Very good question. So how often are you staying after school? For how many hours? It's after school activity or during school activity?
It's it actually depends. Like some schools have
I'm aware about engineer programs. So they're in class and after school. But you is have a robotic club or robotic class, or how is it?
Well, there's in a couple different schools, there's classes where they actually work on the robot, if I'm correct. In class.
You do it Diamond, right?
At Diamond, there's I think there's like an applied technology class where,
Yes.
but at most schools, it's an after-school activity. Our school we do it from 2:30 to 4:30, or 2:30 to 4 after school.
How many times per week?
We usually do every day except for Fridays, unless we need to work harder, then we do Fridays as well.
And how many full Saturdays do you do?
And we usually, as we get closer to tournaments, we usually do full Saturdays. It can start from anywhere from 8 o'clock to 9 o'clock in the morning and go to 5 or 6 o'clock in the evening. And that like I said before, that's
I can tell you as an East High mom, and this is a team that keeps part of them, so that's why I was picking on Kip. It's a team that wants to be competitive.
Sure.
They, as you said, they're working from 2:30 to 4 or 5 most every day after school, and they usually will do 9 to 5 Saturdays. And I've been here at 10, 11 o'clock at night at the school the week before competition, where they're just.
So I'm a teacher from a high school, a lot of parents involved, so they come on Saturdays, they stay with kids, so teachers stay on site as well.
We usually have a teacher on site because I think it's school policy,
Yes.
but we usually have that individual paired, and sometimes the teachers, there'll be more than one teacher,
Okay.
and they'll swap part of the day. But Heather Roach is one of the key teachers. She's also a parent. And so she tends to spend more times than I think, I shouldn't say a normal teacher, but because she's playing that dual role, I think she spends more time.
I think one of the beauties of this program, though, is it doesn't have to be that. You've got flexibility to figure out what works for you. As an example,
Because it's, I have to talk to principal, I have to talk to other people.
Yeah.
Other people, how they can work out, because I have my other, everyone has life, so.
Yeah,
This is a good.
we weren't taking it as
Sure,
complaining. We were taking it as
Okay.
there's a It will require, as a teacher, to have parents heavily involved. I know when Ms. Roach isn't able to get us access to the school, we bring these teams onto the university campus. We have parents that open up their homes. I mean, when we're
Okay.
to the
No,
push.
It's
Yeah,
wonderful
it's-
you share it with me
yeah.
because
it's
I
a
know
team
it's huge
effort.
scope, it's huge scope, it's not small, it's a lot of time.
Yeah, it really is, and that's, it takes students, because oftentimes, I know, I don't know all of you, but I'm assuming that you're all very strong academic too, and it takes really good planning. It takes students that can figure out how to have a really busy after-school life, robotics, and keep up with all your academics. Huh?
Definitely. I'm balancing 4 AP classes right now, and it's gonna take up a lot of time, so.
It's healthy.
You've been quiet.
Stay on top of the organization, so don't have time to waste time.
Oh, people, yeah, that's my key right there, organizing.
How about you guys in here? You've been kind of quiet.
They're from West High.
Yeah.
We just started this year, so we're going instantly from so many different tasks we have to
So
tackle.
as a new team, there are all sorts of resources out there, mentors and
I'm a teacher, but I'm a mentor. I brought my husband as a mentor. He's kind of a computer simple engineer, so he can help me. But we started so, and I would like to expand, so it's financial, it's time, and it's
Yeah.
awesome. It's all
Yeah,
together.
it's all of it
And
together.
he used to learn material. Last year, we did not have access to explanation of those new materials. This year, classes.
Yeah,
It's make my life easy and kids as well. So we see what we need to do.
Yeah.
Already contacted the team, so.
and I would say that, the teams who are veteran teams, they love sharing and helping the other teams get up on staff. It's actually one of the coolest things I would say as a parent.
That's collaboration.
Yeah,
That's good.
all right.
Thank you.
Anything else? Thank you.
I would like my-
That was fun.
One of my classes. Yep. Which one?
Okay.
Where do you sit? Are you on the same row as I am?
No.
Is this Skype channel?
Is this over on
Is this Skype channel?
the classmate point of view
Dang.
back.
Dang.
It's really good.
I
quality.
you look familiar. So you'll
stay here.
Yeah, no one was on the
So
broadcast.
how long have you been doing robotics?
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.